I myself didn't expect a 715, but when it got, I was like happy. Since the start, when I decided to do my MBA, it's been ISB or nothing. Getting your mocks done, your GMAT exam will almost, you will take 2-3 minutes extra that. But if you can manage that test day time pressure, I think so you'll be good in GMAT, get a 99% similar to me. I feel that's the most important thing because the questions at GMAT aren't the toughest. If you can manage the time and everything, you more probably than all, then no, you will do well if you can manage time. Um, when I went through, I think so, I had a word with Richa from your team. Firstly, she was really helpful. The way she took me through the entire process. Secondly, went through that initial videos of Sandeep sir, which you guys share at the beginning. Found them helpful. And I think so. It's like the way they have the structure, you come to know that there are small things which you need to learn in GMAT, which really help you crack the questions, whether that be verbal, quants, DI, whichever part it is.
It's such a pleasure to have you here, Sarthak. Heartiest congratulations on that phenomenal 99 percentile score. It's a 715, as we can all see it on the screen. With a quant percentile of 94, verbal percentile of 86, and a data insights at a phenomenal 98 percentile. Heartiest congratulations once again. How did you feel when this score cropped up on the screen?
Oh, it was good. Being honest, I had checked it twice to whether I've got a 715.
Happens to a
And
lot of
like,
students. Happens to a lot of us.
yeah, yeah, I myself didn't expect a 715, but when it got, I was like happy. One feeling really happy.
Had to pinch yourself.
Yeah, pinch myself movement, definitely.
Right. So, tell us something about yourself. What sort of a background do you come from, and what made you decide to take the GMAT?
Uh, my background, I work in a fintech. Been good with numbers, English. Been pretty decent in studies always. Work in a fintech called Incred currently as an analyst, where we fund companies. Have my own business called Tickles, where we sell soft toys online, on Amazon, our own website, etc. Are one of the biggest toy sellers on Amazon. Um, yeah, that's
That's
my
so
background.
interesting.
Yeah. Why GMAT? Wanted to explore ISB. Had one aim. Since the start when I decided to do my MBA, it's been ISB or nothing. So my aim target has been ISB, all eggs in one basket. ISB is the college in India which accepts only GMAT, and not CAT. And like being very honest, I decided to do the ISP and GMAT because it's more practical, more real life, more application based, and CAT can be done easily, balancing work and everything. It's more logical in that sense where you need to know the concepts. Like it's more conceptual in nature. So if your concepts are good, your English, math bases are covered, and you're good in that, you can do a decent job in GMAT if your base concepts are good. And like after the test, I realized GMAT is not that much a test of knowledge, I'll say, because the questions in GMAT aren't the toughest. It's not about solving those 64 questions or like 21 questions on average in the section in 45 correct. It's more of solving those 21 questions in 45 minutes. That's the entire challenge. Solving that question in 2 minutes, I feel that's the entire challenge. It's more of a pressure test of how you're able to manage your time and everything. So yeah, like if someone asks me what's my biggest takeaway after giving them my GMAT exam, what if you ask me to give a recommendation to anyone, I think some of my biggest takeaway, my biggest recommendation for anyone giving future GMAT will be make sure you can absorb that test day pressure, test day situation, that time pressure pressure which comes into, and suppose whatever time you're getting your mocks done, your GMAT exam will almost, you will take 2-3 minutes extra that. But if you can manage that test day time pressure, I think so you'll be good in GMAT, get a 99 percentile similar to me. I feel that's the most important thing because the questions at GMAT aren't the toughest. If you can manage the time and everything, you more probably than all, then no, you will do well if you can manage time.
Great, that's so well elaborated, but I think that you make the test look far more easier than it actually is. A lot of people sweat over their GMAT prep. So yes, what made you decide to start working with us, top 1%, as a test prep partner?
Yeah, so I think so this journey starts around 3.5 months ago. So yeah, in a way I've dedicated around 100 days. So that's around 3.5 hours. On average, 300 hours is what took me. So was looking at test preps like on online, Googling everything. Actually, like the credit is to my a friend of mine, Vaishaki. Like she also giving a GMAT in the upcoming days. She was the one who took and she recommended this test prep to me. When I went through, I think so. I had a word with Richa from your team. Firstly, she was really helpful. The way she took me through the entire process. What will be the curriculum, how you will teach us, etc., etc. So yeah, I think so. Richa did a really good job in taking me through the entire process of how top will help me and how they'll help me navigate the GMAT thing. Secondly, went through that initial videos of Sandeep sir, which you guys share at the beginning. Found them helpful. And I think so. Like the way they have been structured, you come to know that there are small things which you need to learn in GMAT, which really help you crack the questions, whether that be verbal, quants, DI, whichever part it is. The small things we need to master, we need to learn. I feel that is what TOPS does is uh, not like it obviously teaches you the main concepts and all, but main importantly further to the concepts, it just tells you that little extra of how you can do A plus B, which that small thing which helps you do the question more efficiently. And again, coming to the efficient part, the time part, I think so. That part, I think so. That got drilled the most in me, like listening to Sandeep sir also in his class and everything. That it's not that I mentioned earlier also not a, especially in cons that is GMAT is a question where is a test where they expect you to solve each question in 2 minutes. So if you're taking more than 2 minutes for a question, it means you have gone wrong somewhere. There'll always be a trick, a knack somewhere in the question which you have missed, whether that's a last digit of the number or some word in the passage or word in the question, which will give you an highlight with you that will lead you to the answer quicker, much quicker. So I used to always be that key. If I've already spent 2 minutes, that means I missed something. Just read the question once more, find that one small thing which I'm missing. I think so. It'll help you if you go into that mentality. I think that's the biggest thing Topstar did that it got me. It built that
Into the
GMAT
GMAT
mentality in
mindset, as
me.
we call it.
Yeah, yeah. It helped bring that GMAT mentality where don't take too much time to question, 2 minutes, have an educated guess. Yeah, go that I feel you will need that little mentality, a little and which is you can think that Arey, now I can do it or it's not a big thing, it's not a very small shift, but it's stuff that you'll never see it on your own. You need someone to tell you and it's not even tell you, you need to show you ki, yeah, someone did this earlier and it worked for him. So like give some evidence. So uh, because I think as humans, if you see that is something, some fact is something is supported by some fact, you are much tended to do that change and do that, make those changes. So definitely tops helped in having that little bit of mentality change towards and getting that GMAT mentality, which definitely helps on the test day and to when you're taking the exam and etc.
So one thing that I noticed from this entire back and forth that we're having is that you've been able to address the time in the right amount of time frame as has been stipulated by Sandeep sir. Like in a 3.5 month time, you were able to address the test, get the score that you desired, and probably you'll be targeting round two for ISB. So a lot of our students face this challenge of balancing out work. So what sort of time were you devoting each day to your GMAT prep, considering that you were also one of the largest uh, toy seller on Amazon? How did you balance all these things out?
Yeah, if I'll lie if that's journey if I say the journey was easy or I had already too much time in the day to take out a GMAT. Yeah, like being very honest, been a tough tough journey. No, you have to be consistent. You have to be passionate towards GMAT. Mainly, I say consistent that, especially to the initial days, when you're doing the base videos which are given by tops, you need to be consistent, get into that flow of doing things, and I think you need to be passionate. I feel that's the most important thing about doing anything in your life. I from the start get go when I made ISP my goal. Now, like if you ask any of my friends or anything, they'll tell you that I say I want to go to ISP, go to ISP. So I'm very passionate towards goal and very dedicated towards the goal. So made sure that in a week, studied at least 5 days a week. Did around on work days, did around 2 to 3 hours a day. So I study 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. every day. So that's enough. You don't need to stress yourself. Ki I have to study 4 or 5 hours. You do a good 2 3 hour study session on weekdays, and one day I so either study on a Saturday or a Sunday. So Saturday Sunday cumulative I should study around 5 to 6 hours again. So one day if I do 5 hours, Sunday I'll do like a 1 hour or something. So in a week, I did approx around 15 hours. You can take give or take. Uh, but being very honest, GMAT is not it's not an exam where you bore yourself to study and everything. You need to enjoy while you're solving. You need to enjoy doing this sums. So always have fun while solving GMAT because the curriculum is not boring per se. If you see verbal, it's legit. You are reading stuff and you're answering. CR is you're using your brains. It's basically logic. How you're inferring, weak and everything. Math also is not the toughest math. If you enjoy doing GMAT, obviously it helps because the questions are the toughest. And if you enjoy doing anything, you tend to do it more. You tend to gain more from it, and you tend to be efficient. Uh, yeah, so that was my study plan in a way, 15 hours a day. And definitely I use the mock tests a lot. After doing the initial videos, do the videos well, and then do the mock test, do a it's a very self-analytical test. Go see where you're good, where you're bad. There's enough resources available, enough, more than enough questions. Like you won't be able to solve all, that's fine. And also one thing this was my strategy. You all may apply or not apply. The full length mock test, give a couple of them, two, three, every. And but after that time, you know that if you're getting a 650, 75, 7, that's your level. Then last 15, 20 days, no one giving a full length mock test, which takes a 3 to 4 hours of time, is just a waste of a day of
Doesn't
study.
make sense.
But yeah, so yeah, better I feel the sectional tests which are given. 45 minutes test. So there are 8, 8, 8 for each verbal, DI, and quants, which basically it's the full length are one section each cumulative. These are only one you do. They are much better because they tell you exactly in this section how much you're doing, and you can see which part you're going bad, which part you're going good, and then work on that. CR, I can give a tip. There's a long setting in CR. So when they're around 10 days to 15 days, there are two long settings in given in CR. The 100 question bank long setting. This is what I did. I had 10 days to go to the exam, or I think that in the last week, 7 days to go in the exam. I did one long setting of CR, 3 hours, 100 questions, sat through it, did it. And after that, it tells you bold phase, weakest, trend in where you did, because each the sample size is enough. You're doing around 15 to 20 questions of each type there. And it's a good indicative of which part in CR you should actually concentrate. I feel that's a good tip you can do. Around 7 to 10 days, do that CR long setting. You come to know where that is there. And verbal, I mean, uh, being from a background where my English, I will say, is my first language. It's the language I'm more comfortable in. So English at the end wasn't such a big challenge. So if you have a similar story, similar background to me, have an English medium education, etc., I will tell you this, that English is not the toughest thing. I'll say that's the easiest of the lot. It's more about being in touch with it. So once you do the octave, Sandeep sir teaches octave. It's you don't need to go over the videos, everything. But what I'll say is every three, so like DI quants, you still need to practice and go over questions and everything. The 700 to 800 question bank given, I feel that's a good, every 2, 3 days you solve three to four paragraphs from that. So that leaves you in the groove of things. It keeps you connected and it keeps that octave fresh, ready, and you remember to use it. It just refreshes everything. So that's what I did. But this is coming from someone whose English I consider it to be my first language. I'm really comfortable in it. It's a language I use day to day. I speak the most at home, office, with friends, everywhere. So if you have a similar level of comfort with English, vocabulary thing, yeah, no need to spend a lot of time there. Rather, just every 2 3 days, can do 3 4 paragraphs. Just keep in touch with things. If you want, revise the octave notes once every week or once every 2 weeks. You should be good to ace.
Right. I think again, you made it look so easy when I initially started talking to you. You were like, I didn't put in much effort, only 15 hours in a week and give or take 1 hour. But now when I look at it, the way that you're describing things, I think you've covered most of the resources on the portal. So again, could you just touch base with what all material did you prioritize? Did you follow the after class action plan to the T, or were there many resources that you skipped over?
Being very honest, didn't really follow the after class plan. I did the first I did the videos, the base course which is given, did it really well. Then did main course, so took good 1.5 months to do the sorry, do the base course and the main course. Will I like this is what, and then after that, especially for quants, once I finished everything, I went through all the base course for the quants specifically together, just to build my concepts and just have the quants conceptually all good. Uh, then came the practice. Once that's done, it's all about practice, practice, practice. Quants, I feel the question banks are really good. You solve
The 700 to
probability,
800.
yeah, those all the questions are really good. If and those are the 700 to 800 band questions. Like people will think if you got to get a 60%, 70% accuracy, don't be disheartened. Those are meant to be tough questions. Even no one gets 100% there, and I was getting 70 to 75% there. That's fine. It's more about you learning how to solve them than getting them correct all the time. Um, and it's more all about concepts, which because generally maths people fear this formula, that formula. There aren't any formulas here. Just be conceptually strong. Key. If this speed distance time is coming here, then you do this, especially with data sufficiency, everything. It's more of a concepts thing. Your concepts have to be really strong. So in quants, yeah, yeah, make sure you keep on seeing those base videos till your concepts are strong. Uh, for the tougher topics like probability mods, I feel there are additional videos where Sandeep sir is doing more questions for them both. Really helpful because they cover additional questions which come, especially probability. I feel, or like the one which I put in a lot of effort on, and I feel many people put a lot of effort on. But that's a more mathy type uh, thing in quants. Go to the videos twice, thrice, 4 times. That's what I was meant ki find your weakness area, work on that. That's I found ki I thought probability was my weak area. I worked on that. Uh, Identify a weak area, work on that. And as I mentioned earlier, for CR, it's all about practice. Just taking each type of category of question and just solving the 700 to 800 type questions. If you're faltering anyway, just go back to the notes given, just read it, see how it's done. Yeah, just and as I mentioned 7 10 days ago, do that one CR long sitting of 3 hours, 100 questions, all type of questions. You'll come to know which type you're good, which type you're bad, and last week you can focus there. And verbal again, as I mentioned, it's more comprehension based, do every 3 to 4 hours. Remember octave, voice, everything, the things where if there's a most in the answer, these small, small things. I think so. Pretty sure the videos will have that. Key extremes, chronology, everything, voice, neutral, AC, everything. Just keep that in mind. I feel you should be good. Yeah, and just have fun. That's, yeah, while doing have fun.
Great. That was such a value addition again. So in terms of the mock portal, apart from the full length mock, which you recommended not to take as many, what were the other mocks that you addressed? Were you through with all the other mocks that were there on the portal, or selectively there were certain mocks that you had left, which you might have left for maybe a later attempt?
No, I mean, I took those mocks like as and when. So one I took obviously when before even I started studying when I was blank,
To
zero.
establish your
Yeah,
baseline. That's called
yeah,
establishing baseline.
yeah,
So
yeah,
what was
yeah.
your
So,
score back then while you were establishing the baseline?
uh, so yeah, so that time it was, I think so I got a 595 or a 600, but predominantly I like if I look back, that's getting a six. I got a 595 then, but I feel that 595 was a really good scare back then because in that baseline mock, the region where I had got wrong work was quants. So at quants, I got like a 10 or something where 'cause I didn't remember how to do and everything. And quants is the most teachable of the three lots.
Absolutely.
English, English and DI still is a knack, and it's tougher to be coached, and it's a more time consuming process than quants. So
I
if you
think
feel your
that's
quants is
most
your
relevant to DI because a lot of students face a lot of challenge with that section, and it's got more to do with how you think individually. So it's very difficult to
yeah.
coach, like you said.
Yeah, so it takes time. So being very luckily, cons was the weak part in my baseline score of around 575 or 585. I don't remember. It was a higher 500s. So that see, I keep the if cons being my weak thing, it was very easily teachable and correctable. And as you mentioned, what I did on the mocks, what I didn't make. So one I gave my mock then the second mock I gave was when I finished all my base and main, so the jump I saw there. So that I think so post that I reached around 650 on that mock test from a 575. So just doing this have basically having the same score in DI and verbal as earlier and just making that jump on quants just caused me to come from the 575 to 650.
That's a
Then
great way to
obviously
strategize, I think. Work on your weaker sections and get them up to the level of the other sections,
yeah.
and you're good to go.
Yes. Yeah. And then after that, obviously, I gave more couple of mocks every like one. Like at that time, I didn't know ki I would like mocks give as many mocks as possible. So initially, I gave mocks, but then I realized I'm just wasting my time giving these mocks. So then I stopped doing mocks at one time, and then the sectional mocks are what helped me. The eight sectional mocks of DI, verbal, and quants. Uh, obviously I didn't have the time to complete through the course, but I tried to do for DI. I did all the eight mocks there, and I feel that's the section of the test you need to practice the more. DI is all about practice, practice, practice from your that table analysis, your MSR, two-part analysis, even your data sufficiency questions, so non-mat data sufficiency questions. One more small tip, I think so. The mocks, I think so, or general, I think so, this is a trend. The mocks don't contain as many non-math data sufficiency questions than which are on the paper. So will be a small tip that there's a small topical mock on the non-math data sufficiency questions. So just do that properly because I found that in my test, the non-math data sufficiency questions were a bigger chunk
Again,
than what
too.
I had practiced. So
Okay.
I was really unsure and tricky कि क्या होएगा, what has happened. So I was, but touch wood, it turned out good. But data DI is all about practice, practice, practice. Online
100%
on
agree.
the test day
100%
also.
agree.
Yeah, that is DI is all about practice. Make sure you do all as much practice as possible for DI. It'll help you on test day, 100%.
Great, Sarthak. Going forward, if at a future stage there is someone who's watching this interaction, what would be the three tips that you will give a person who's preparing for the GMAT in the future? Three
Uh,
three tips and three do's and three don'ts.
Yeah, three do's. My first do, as I mentioned right in the start, that GMAT is not that as much as a knowledge test, as much as it's a pressure test. Make sure you are doing the questions in time. Keep a track of time. If you're not finishing the mocks in time, that's a bigger worry than getting the answers correct. Because you need to be able to withstand that pressure test of GMAT, that stress test of GMAT. Uh, so you need to be able to do those questions in time. Again, it's not about solving those 64 question, 21 questions in 45, but it's about solving those 21 questions in 45 minutes. That's the entire problem and challenge statement. if you can solve those 21 questions in 45 minutes, you will do gold. So keep a track of how much time you're taking to do each question or part or section. And that is, I feel, the golden rule, that keep a track, make sure you are able to finish the test in time, and you are able to do those questions efficiently. Secondly, also, as I'm, it's going to be connected to this key, every question in GMAT is meant to be solved in 2 minutes, especially in quants. So always look for that knack or the small connection, whether that be in multiplication, it'll be, suppose there are two answers and your question has a six and a six. Uh, as a small tens digit. So your answer will have a six in the units place, and only one answer will have a six in the units place. That's the little tips and tricks you need to use. And always remember, each question is solvable in 2 minutes. If you aren't, either you're missing something, you are definitely missing something. And third, so like first two, you can either take as one advice or two advice. If I have to give two more, one I'll give is be consistent. Don't do like 1 week you're studying a lot, then 1 week you will do like 30 hours, and then second week you do zero, and then third week you do again 30 hours, and fourth week again you zero. Instead, do 10, 10, 10, 10 for on each week. That is much, much better, because being consistent is very important. Being in flow of things is very important. Doesn't matter, uh, quality over quantity, for GMAT. Doesn't matter if you're doing 1 hour a day or 3 hours a day. It has to be quality practice where you know what you're doing, where you're improving. And third, obviously, know where you're going wrong. Be very self-analytical. See where you're going wrong. Review your answers. Always when you're giving a sectional mock, always don't just look how much you got, but always spend 15, 20 minutes seeing what you got wrong, what the correct answer was, how it's solved, and learn from it. No mock should be just to, no mocks are not given to see where you stand, but to see how much you are left to go and where you have to improve. It's a test to see where you're going wrong, whether, and not to see where you're going correct. So the focus on each sectional mock or whatever mock has to be where you went wrong and not where you did correct. That's where the crux is. Ki where you went wrong is where you need to be improve and get better. Three don'ts, as you mentioned. Uh, yeah, have fun. Yeah, like मतलब करने खाली पढ़ाई करने के लिए don't. I feel that's a motto of my how I live life. Uh, do if you enjoy doing GMAT, because it's not the
That's so
most mentally
inspiring.
draining. Yeah, like it's not like a JEE or like a NEET exam where you have to rote learn this formula, this formula. Very application based, very practical.
So you have to fall in love with
Have
the
fun doing
exam,
it.
basically. So
Yeah,
don't
have
would
fun doing
obviously
it.
be yes, not to take it too seriously and have fun with it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't take it too seriously. It's not a JEE, NEET, 12th, 10th both exam. It's English. It's basic English and math. It's
And
simple
I also
English
have
and math.
I tell a lot of our students that it isn't that you will not be able to appear for this exam in another year. You can take it as many times as you want in a lifetime. So there's no point of
Exactly.
to take it seriously.
And exactly, and I feel being relaxed on exam day is what will help you the most, because it's not, you can have 5 attempts in a year. If plan in advance, you can have those 5 attempts in the year. You can have more attempts. So be relaxed. It's not your one and only go. You take be very relaxed going into the exam. Nothing will happen. Whatever happen, you can always take one more attempt. Yeah, and just have fun. Okay. Yeah.
Right, Sarthak, this was also fruitful. It was such a wonderful conversation that we had, so many value addition points. Once again, we at Top 1%, including Sandeep sir, are extremely proud of you, and you all made us proud. And wishing you all the best going forward with your application. Hope to see you at ISB really soon.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Karan. So lovely, lovely chatting with you. Thank you. Great.
Bye. Have a great day ahead.
Bye bye. Thank you. Thank you for the great. Thank you. And thank you for tops and everything that I did, everything you all did. Yeah, thank you. Play all, I mean, you all played a big part in my journey. Yeah, so cheers. Thank you. Yeah, like that's my gratitude towards your team. Thank you.
All right, Sarthak, take care.
Bye bye. Thank you. Bye.